Radio Shows of the 1930s by George Walker, Alec Stroczynski, and Matt Ryan. Introduction. The radio was a very important source of entertainment in the 1930s. It gave people a source of social media. Thesis. During the Great Depression, people could not afford to go out for fun, but families found entertainment at home with the radio.
Music and news of the 1930s. This era was when jazz started becoming very popular. Some famous musicians were Louis Armstrong, Joe King, Oliver, and etc. People were very psyched about the new form of receiving news now that they did not need to go out and buy newspapers. They could just get it right off the radio, which would also give them more recent news since it takes time to print out newspapers and transport them to the reader. It also helped give the president more publicity and gave him an easy way to talk to the nation. Fireside chats. Fireside chats were ways that Roosevelt would address the nation. During the Great Depression, people were very scared and had little hope in them. Roosevelt would talk to them in their homes through fireside chats, which would give words of encouragement and also teach them how the economy worked. This helped make Roosevelt a very popular president and one of the most popular in American history. Throughout his presidency, he had 30 radio speeches, kind of like State of the Union addresses, but only more frequently.
Go. Prices of the radio in the 1930s. Radios were a cheap source of entertainment during this time. Although the Great Depression led well into the 1930s, people could still afford a radio for home entertainment. By 1933, 60% of Americans owned a radio. This helped people save money during a time when people were very poor.
War of the Worlds and Amos and Andy. War of the Worlds was a radio broadcast about an alien invasion in parts of New Jersey. A good portion of listeners actually started to believe that there was really an alien invasion, which caused huge amounts of panic. Amos and Andy took place on a farm outside Atlanta, Georgia. Amos was naive but hardworking, and Andy was self-confident. They were black-faced comedians who would act like stereotypical black people at the time. However, some in the African American community actually liked the show, finding it entertaining, while others protested it. The Pittsburgh Courier was the second largest black newspaper at the time. They encouraged people to protest and even led riots.
Tarzan and Dr. IQ. Tarzan is a show about a feral child raised in the African jungle by great apes. Dr. IQ was the first quiz show that started at just a radio show and then later became a television show in the 1950s. Dr. IQ was also the first show where people could win prizes for answering questions correctly.
People's reaction. People were psyched when radios became available because they were so cheap and so readily available. Now people had entertainment in the comfort of their home. Before the radio, people would have to go out to see shows or movies and spend a lot of money doing so. This was a way to spend a small amount of money and have constant entertainment.
Conclusion. The radio provided a cheap source of entertainment for millions of people in America. The radio was the first at-home entertainment system, which changed American lives and led to modern-day concepts of being able to stay at home and listen to shows or basically just at-home lifestyle. No longer was the only way to, get any kind of entertainment would be to go to a play or some kind of movie theater. It was now all right at home. Radios helped change America and led to more inventions, including the television, as it set up the basics for the idea. The radio will always be a part of American society, but will never have the same impact as it did on people in the 1930s.